Good morning, boys and girls. It is Thursday, May 18th, and we will have new numbers from the housing market and initial jobless claims. So let's start here today with the news. In about 5 minutes, we will get the weekly initial jobless claims number as well as Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, and later existing home sales half an hour after the market is open. So I will just live stream Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index and initial jobless claims and give you an update of the markets. And then we will see next week more important news here on Tuesday with the building permits, service PMI and new home sales. On Wednesday, FOMC meeting minutes will be really important. Like always, after the FOMC meeting, we will know what was discussed from the other members. And on Thursday, pending home sales and GDP, this one will be important as well. And Friday, more news from the inflation sector here with core durable goods and PCE price index. A lot of news to come, and the CME FedWatch tool is showing again more here signs of higher interest rates at the next Federal Reserve meeting in 27 days. 26% probability and 74% probability to stay at 5.25%. So let's see the numbers, but you see now the expectancies went up. Until September, we will probably stay at 5.25% and then end the year at 4.75%. Okay, big shift to the upside, but stock market and especially the tech stocks are rallying. So let's see Nasdaq first here. So we made new highs yesterday, 13,669 points, and pre-market we retested these levels and went above 13,684 points. So we are near the high points right now. So we broke to the upside, and we are near the previous high points from last August. As you can see, here was the previous high point. So just missing some more points to get back there. This is June future. Of course, we will probably not get back up to 14,000, which was the level of a June future in the previous August. But we never know. But let's see on Finwiz to see the level of Nasdaq index and Q. So there we can see on a weekly time frame to get the previous level from August, and here you can see we are pretty near this level here, just about 100 points below. So this should act as a bigger resistance here, and maybe we will see a further push, more 100 points more to the upside to get into this resistance and then see the final sell-off here. Let's wait and see what will happen when we reach the previous high points from August 2022. So back to a 5-minute time frame to see pre-market highs here, which was right at 1:15 p.m. my time. This was 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. So this should act as a resistance today. Let's draw it a little bit lower. So just this here as a resistance from pre-market, as well as some support from pre-market here. This one here, 2 minutes to the news. So 13,628 points. And the high points around 13,680. And you see this was before the closing yesterday was as well a low point. So this should act as a support here. And we also have the low points from yesterday. This could also act as a potential support here in the 13,500 area if we drop to lower levels. And to the upside, I've shown you on Finwiz the higher levels around 13,760 points. So 100 points more to the upside room. Let's see what will happen on the news. So back to our economic calendar, and let's switch to a 1 minute time frame here on Nasdaq to see what will happen here on initial jobless claims and Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. So 5 seconds left. Expectancy is minus 19.8 for Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index and 254K for initial jobless claims. So news are out. Let's see what the market is doing right now. Just have to wait to see the numbers here. Market is dropping a little bit. Here are the numbers, minus 10.4, so better than expected. Initial jobless claims 242K, lower than expected. This is as well better than expected. But of course, more inflation risk. This is not what the Federal Reserve wants to see here. So all the numbers better than expected. Normally this should be a good sign for the market, but of course there is the risk of higher inflation. So let's see if the market will find a direction and break out to the up or down side here. Just give it some time. It's early, 1 hour before the market is open. So sometimes it needs a little bit of time. Okay, we can move on with the other commodities and foreign currencies. Euro, US dollar still dropping, still showing signs of weakness. So a strong US dollar and a weak euro. Not a good sign for the stock market overall, but yeah, as you have seen, Nasdaq is still stable and it has more room to the upside, so we have to be patient and wait for a clear sign of a reversal before we try to short it really big. Crude oil, crude oil is just going sideways, but probably retesting soon the $73.50 level here, where we had previous high points and low points here around $74, $73.50 should be a resistance again, and then maybe we can break through and retest $76 again. For natural gas, where's my chart for natural gas? Here. Again, here. Nothing special here, just going sideways, but we are above the moving averages here. So it's looking better for natural gas, making higher high points, higher low points right now. Let's see how far we can go with natural gas here, especially if we break above 250, then there's more room to the upside here. Then for wheat futures, finally there was the decision, and they got 2 more months for deliveries from Ukrainian ports for wheat over the Black Sea, and therefore the wheat prices are dropping here. Probably we'll see a retest of the previous low points here around 603 cents for wheat. Orange juice went back to 257 cents, but I'm still waiting for the retest of the 260 cents level, and this could be an interesting shorting area right there, because yeah, you see there was a major support which should now act as a resistance. For sugar, nothing special, just going sideways, retesting 20 EMA level, but still in a sideways trend. So just wait for the breakout to the up or downside before we take any position here. Then we have, what else is interesting? Some single stocks. Nvidia finally made the breakout, so congratulations Ralph. We reached the $300 level and overshot it, so you see there were probably a lot of stop losses placed here, and therefore yeah, we are above this level now, $305. Let's see if we can also close the week above this level here. $305 is the current level for Nvidia. Same for Google, another AI stock which is also on the run. Look at this, yesterday's high was $121.60. 7 cents. So in just a trading week, this is a run of 13%. Not bad for such a huge tech stock. Volatility, VIX index making lows here, reached yesterday's lows at 16.68, and we are at the same level right now, so nothing special here. But as always, the fear can come in back quickly, so be cautious if you are trading VIX and other volatility index. Then we have the bonds, TLT, dropping more. So you see, because of the higher interest rate expectation, bond prices are dropping here, and the same for the high yield bonds here. So we made lows yesterday. We tried to go higher then, but yeah, still being on a low level here for the high yield bonds. Then copper is now going sideways, but with a huge volatility on the previous 4 trading days here. No decision made right now, but you see that it is pretty weak, making lower highs, lower lows, as well as sign of weakness for the economy. And Tesla, they had their investors day and were announcing 2 new models, Model Q. So let's see when we will get the final price for it. So the price tag will probably be around $25,000. But let's see if this price is really the final price and when the car is produced. So for now, it's just an announcement, and we already had a lot of announcement from Elon Musk. But yeah, the stockholders are happy that he is finally back for Tesla and stepped down as CEO of Twitter, or will step down, and we will only be a CTO of Twitter. But yeah, I don't believe that he will lose the focus on Twitter, and therefore still this will be a lot of time consuming thing for Twitter. But I don't think this is a too bad thing for Tesla, that Elon Musk has not 100% of his time for Tesla. But as we can see, still struggling here at the previous high points. So let's see if we can go above the $177, which was the previous high point, or if we'll just stay in a sideways range here. So did you trade it, Ralph? Did you trade Nvidia to the upside? If not, it's just an announcement and no real gain for you. But yes, it's looking bullish, of course, because we broke the previous high point. So next target could be here, the previous high point from November 2022, which was here at $346. So there's room to the upside of 13%. But of course, this could also be a false breakout, and we could end the week below the previous high point, which would be a sign of weakness. Let's wait for tomorrow and the closing candle of this week. It's pretty green right now, so this would be a bullish sign for next week. But if we close below 290, it would be a weak sign. So unfortunately, you didn't trade it, so you couldn't profit from your own announcement. What else do we have here? Is there something else interesting? If yes, just name the stock in the live stream chat, and then I can bring the chart for you. Let's go back to Nasdaq. It's dropping right now, so going a little bit lower. No real drop, just 10 points lower. But of course, inflation fears are coming back and higher interest rates. So below the 9 EMA, below VWAP, but we will have to wait for market open to see more volume here. Let's have another look on gold. Gold is interesting as well because it dropped back into our zone, $1,980. You have seen previous supports here. So we dropped back into the zone yesterday, but it couldn't find any support and we are still selling off. So the next important target will be $1,960, which is the 50% Fibonacci retracement. So probably we will find support here, but I wouldn't go long too early because, yeah, I'm bearish for the market and therefore bearish for gold as well. We talked about this several times in previous live streams. So all the signs are pointing into the direction of a recession and to lower stock market prices, but Nasdaq is still strong. So now let's see ES future and the S&P 500. So on a daily time frame, you see there was a strong candle yesterday. We talked about it in the live stream. There will soon be a breakout to the up or downside, and then we got it to the upside, as you can see, and closed right below the previous high point here. So let's see if we can manage to go today back to the 4,200 points level, which was a previous high point here, or if we will fall back into the sideways trading zone. Yeah, it looks a little bit more bullish now than it was looking yesterday, but it's still sideways trading, so it's not a break above the previous high points. It's not looking as bullish as Nasdaq is looking right now. But besides all the technical factors, I'm still bearish overall for the stock market, because it's just a technical fact that a lot of small traders were short. They were short too early, too heavy, and therefore they are pushed out of their positions, so pushed into their stop losses, and the market has to squeeze to the upside to a critical point of pain, so the max pain point, before we can turn to the downside. Because it's often the case that we never go into a recession with a lot of short sellers or a lot of shorties here in the futures, and the majority is often never right, and therefore they have to be pushed out of their positions, and then we can drop. If no one is expecting the drop anymore and everyone is in fear of FOMO and is buying into long positions, then the market will drop. That's really often the case at the stock market, and therefore prepare for this. We can still go higher by 100 points before we dropped. Yeah. I told several times about gold. I'm not a big gold bull. I said, yes, we can go back to the $2,100 level when there are bad news from the banking sector, but there were no more bad news from the banking sector right now, and therefore no more fear of deflation or disinflation, and therefore we see lower gold prices right now because of the still high and higher than in the previous week expected interest rate levels. So if we go back to, where is it, here, CME FedWatch tool, let's see if there is another shift in the interest rate expectation. 29%, almost 30% expectancy now for a 25 basis points rate hike. So we had this big shift in the previous 2 weeks. So there was no, if we compare it, there was almost no expectancy for 5.5%. Look this, 10% probability 1 week ago, and now we are at almost 30%. So it tripled the expectancy for a 25 basis points rate hike. So it is really interesting what we see here. And yeah, we had a 13% probability 1 month ago that we will go to 5%. Yeah, this is a big shift, as you can see, but still a high number for staying at 5.25%. So it will be interesting if this will be the final high point, 5.25%, or if we will go to higher levels. So what else is interesting? Let me know your favorite stocks, then we can talk about them. IWM, Russell 2000, as well, trying to break out from the sideways trend here, but still weaker than ES future and Nasdaq future. So we have smaller companies here on a broader basis, and therefore we see the weakness in the market overall. Yeah, but the same picture here, we could still push back to the previous high points around $179, $180, and still be in a sideways trading phase here. Therefore, don't enter too early, don't enter long positions in a FOMO. Wait for a clear signal, for a clear breakout to the upside before you enter long positions, or wait for the reversal and then short it. So the risk to reward ratios for shorting the stock market are a lot better than going long. But you don't have to short too early. Don't try to guess where the high point will be. wait for a clear sign of a reversal, and then short it. So what could be a potential sign of a reversal? Let's go back to Nasdaq to see clear signs of these reversals. So I will just delete all the trend lines that we can better see. What are signs of reversals? So for example, here, the first red candle after two strong green candles, and this candle is a doji. So we see big wicks on the up and down side. This is a sign of a reversal at a previous high point. So you see, we just tried to push above, triggered some stop losses there, and then closed at the opening level at the closing of the previous day. This is a clear sign of a reversal here, and then we had 3 days of selling off. But then we had a higher low point because a green candle pushed back to the upside, and you see this is a bullish sign here because we are making higher low points. And we are in an uptrend. We are still above 9 EMA and above 20 EMA level, and you see the parabolic is below the current chart level. So on a daily basis, we are in a clear uptrend. But of course, we know the air gets thinner to the upside, and we have room to the downside to see a correction here. And therefore, prepare for this. Even if we can still rise by 100 points in Nasdaq, always keep in mind that it's better, and all the signs are showing and pointing into a recession and more room for downside potential here. FLNG. Okay, let's see FLNG. Flex LNG. Here's the chart. So showing weakness like the natural gas price was in the previous weeks. So what do we see here? Let's just see without outside regular trading hours. So yesterday we had this big push to the downside and triggered probably some stop losses there, but then the buyer stepped in. This is a good sign. Look at this. It's not a green candle, of course, but look at this. A lot of sell-off, but then buyers step back in. And it's always a good sign if we see a big wick on the downside. Look at this, big wick on the downside, and then buyers came back in. This is a doji candle, wick on the up and on the downside, small body of the candle showing signs of a reversal, and then sell-off again. So previous low point, big wick on the downside, doji candle showing signs of a reversal, then big pushes the next days. So this was not a doji candle, but we see a big wick on the downside. So it can be an interesting candle here for some long trades here, and maybe for closing of the open gap here. So I would aim here back to $32, which gives us a potential of about 5% to the upside. Not bad. But yes, it's probably not one of the most liquid stocks here. 500,000, 750,000 stocks traded a day. But it's interesting, of course, yeah, big moves here. So even without leverage, this stock can bring a lot of profit or losses if you are not cautious. So I would place a stop loss right below the $29 area. So you would have about, let's say, $1.50 to the downside. But here for the upside, aim at $32, and you would still have $1.60 as a profit target here. To the upside, it's a little bit better than a 1-to-1 ratio. Not the best, but it could be interesting to trade it to the long side here, especially if the natural gas prices are stabilizing and going to higher levels again. And you see previous low point $29.38, low point here $29.18, about the same. So it could act as a potential support for this stock here. Okay, let's go back to our Nasdaq chart, and then I will let you trade on your own today. 5-minute time frame, making lower lows, and we are below the exponential moving averages, below VWAP. So they act as a resistance now. Previous low points acting as a resistance here, more sell-off. And if we sell below the previous low point, then there will be probably more sell-off here. Maybe retesting previous low points, 13,630, which was the pre-market low point when the European stock exchanges opened here. this is a potential support. As you can see during the Asian session as well, this was a low point. So some potential of a correction of 0.15% to the downside here. Okay, I think that's enough for today. Let's just have a look when we can meet the next time here in our economic calendar. Let's just see tomorrow. Is there something interesting tomorrow? Yes, Fed Chair Jerome Powell is speaking. This is 5 p.m. my time. So I will look if I can live stream this here as well for you at 5 p.m. And if not, if I'm busy, then let's see for next week already. Next week, Monday, nothing special there. But on Tuesday, building permits will be interesting. Service PMI, new home sales. So probably live streaming next Tuesday again. But yeah, if I have the time, I will try as well to live stream tomorrow when Jerome Powell is speaking. Okay, thank you for watching. Please give this stream a thumbs up. And as always, if you haven't subscribed so far, then please do it right now to be informed every time I go live next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.